Good morning. Meeting is now called to order. Any items from the public? Hearing none. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. Purchase order log. Anything for Tracy? Oh, thank you, Tracy. Okay, change of status. Hiring recommendation received from Tim Zaya, Director of Community Corrections, for Joseph Stahl as a peer recovery coach with an annual salary of $43,145. That's effective 12/8/25. Hiring recommendation received from Chad Weinbrenner, Deputy County Administrator, for Trevor Van Dorsdale as a custodian with an annual salary of $32,250. It's effective 12/15/25. Letter of resignation received from Jennifer Swisher, Director of Emergency Communications, for Samantha Deal, Telecommunicator 1, effective 12/4/25. Letter of resignation received from the Honorable Anthony Petrucci, County Clerk, for Stephen Smith, Voters Registration Supervisor, effective 12/15/25. Letter of resignation received from Brian Ross, Director of Community Development, for Larry Brown, Building Inspector. That's effective 12/2/25. The November 30 minutes, everyone was present, so we can leave those in. Bond reduction, letter of credit reduction for Liberty Run Phase 2 grading and final, BCP number 2510-307 and 2207-209, 2405-127, a letter of credit number 707. Engineering makes that request. Any questions for Laura on that? Okay. In your packet, there's a motion to adopt and give the president the authority to sign that particular document. That's the resolution for the execution of the land water grant for the Inwood Park. Motion to approve and give the president the authority to sign that. Also, on a 300 Porter Avenue, which is the monument property and the old mill complex, 300 Porter Avenue LLC collateral assignment of pilot agreement. And the motion there will also to be to give the president the authority, but I would like for Jeff to give us just a brief overall of what you're actually recommending there.
Yeah, I was reading that. Kind of confusing.
With respect to that particular property, pilots generally, well, they can't just assign it to anybody they want to. The commission would have to approve it. And what this particular situation does is because their lender is, putting in significant amount of money for them to do the renovations and so forth, it's understood that they need the ability to step in and complete the project if it was to go under, for example, so that they don't lose $30 million basically. So what it's doing is it's not necessarily going to result in anything happening, but say the project wasn't able to be completed by the company that the pilot is with, then the lender could come in
And they would operate under the pilot agreement.
and they would get the same benefits
Yes, sir.
that with the tax.
It's almost, we're giving them basically the surety coverage that they need.
Basically, yeah, because they wouldn't be able to get this loan to complete the project without that insurance.
So they're going for additional money? Is that why this has happened?
Yeah, they have been doing it in phases,
Okay.
and so there's separate pilot agreements for each phase.
Oh, okay.
And they were all agreed to at the same time, but each one comes into effect when they start that phase.
Yeah, because I was reading it, I was like, that's a lot
Yeah,
of
and
technical
we've
work.
done it for other phases that they've done. So it's the exact same language that has been.
Yeah.
We're not breaking new ground here.
Yeah, it's not new it's something specific to this project that has been with it from the beginning. It's not something that happens in most pilot projects, but this particular one, because they're just,
The unique.
it's a real estate renovation of this property as opposed to like a factory or something being built. So,
Very good.
I tell you one thing though, it's what an improvement it is for the city of Martinsburg and Berkeley
Absolutely.
County. I tell you, it's amazing. It looks so good. It's a wonderful thing, so.
Everybody all right? with that?
Yep.
Okay, need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Been properly moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Next up is our assessor, Larry Hess. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Got a couple of things for you this week. Just have, the first thing I have is a taxpayer error. This lady reported a vehicle that she'd already gotten rid of. Shouldn't have been on there, but she reported it, so it's a taxpayer error, but it's the first offense.
Okay.
They'll get by with that one.
All right.
$36, I think we can.
It's for $36.45.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the taxpayer error for personal property in the amount of $36.45. It's
So moved, Mr. President.
Second.
been moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it.
Good, thank you. I do have 10 personal property office error. We had to correct this past couple weeks. For the reasons that's listed there, general stuff. All 10 of those, if you total them up, comes up to $2,643.72 for those 10 personal property corrections we had to make.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the 10 personal property tax exonerations as presented.
So moved.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Last thing I do have one, we had a split request for billing for divorce for Mr. and Mrs. LeBeau. And they had 4 vehicles. Total assessed value was $46,803 on all 4 vehicles. So we're splitting the bill, and Mr. LeBeau is going to get 3 of the vehicles, total assessed value of $31,683, and the other Lindsay LeBeau will get the Toyota, total assessed value of $15,120. So I need your approval so we can split that bill for this couple.
Okay, need a motion to approve the apportionment for the final divorce decree for LeBeau's.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes
That's
have
all
it.
I have. You'll have a good day.
Thank you, Larry. All right, board meeting reports. Mr. Boyd.
I had a home consortium meeting was canceled, so. Meeting report.
Very good. Mr. Hardy.
Monday night I had a planning commission meeting, it's your standard planning commission meeting. We had a couple public hearings. We had a few final plats. Everything kind of went off without a hitch. We have been running up against the same issue that has been brought to my attention and to our planning department's attention with the West Virginia Department of Highways and cost sharing amongst projects. We have this issue where if the first developer comes in and starts a project and the traffic study is done, West Virginia Department of Highways says no action needed, that project will go forward. Maybe the second or third developer that may come in behind that person, and these could be small developments. These could be like 6 acres for a fast food restaurant or for a gas station or something like that. They hit a trigger. And when that's triggered by the West Virginia Department of Highways, whatever that improvement needs to be done, whether it be a light, a turn lane, a deacceleration lane, a roundabout, whatever West Virginia Department of Traffic deems necessary, that developer is now responsible for all of that. There has to be a fair way to be able to distribute this in a cost sharing. So maybe if the first developer doesn't hit the criteria, but there's some money gathered by that developer and it can be shared across. West Virginia Department of Highways continues to say that they have no way of being able to gather that money for projects that don't exist yet or do not have traffic study numbers. We do understand that West Virginia is unique in the way that we fund our transportation. It's not funded locally through counties, it's funded through the state. But obviously, we need to look at some type of formula. This is only going to affect a few counties, very few counties. Municipalities have a way of doing this cost sharing now, I do believe, but counties do not. It's probably going to affect 4 or 5 counties. But we need to look at some legislation of creating some formula for how money can be collected, be escrowed by the West Virginia Department of Highways to be spent in those counties. So, if there's a project in Berkeley County, then that money is held in an escrow for Berkeley County projects. And maybe it may not even be exactly where your project's at. Maybe if you're last person in and all the traffic work's been done, but you still need to pay your fair share of the cost of those improvements, then maybe it can be used at an intersection down the road or in another part, as long as it stays within that county. There just has to be a way that we can do this cost sharing. So sometimes your first developer in, if they're a big developer, may absorb all of the cost, and the ones that come therefore after have no cost in it. So I just think there's a fair way to do it, and also a way that we can spread those monies throughout the county. If we have developed all the traffic stuff that we need in Spring Mills, but we need some traffic help in Inwood, that money can be spread throughout our county. We're one county, and that I think there's a better way to do that. So I will be working with our local legislators, a few developers, a few engineers, trying to come up with some. I'm sure it will get very convoluted, and someone in Charleston will get a hold of it and just grind it up. I don't mean to sound so bleak about it,
But you know how it goes.
I have experience in this. So, but I think that it's time that we at least try to develop something and try to move forward.
Yeah, it's been rather unfair for quite a while.
It has.
And I think any kind of solution to do with that where everybody pays their fair share is reasonable.
Sure.
You know?
And I believe we can come up with a formula. There's definitely some type of formula we can come up for personal vehicles and commercial vehicles, and there's something we can come up with there.
Very good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Whitaker.
I had no meetings to,
Very good. Commissioner Callett.
I did have some this week. First, I wanted to say, I did share an email this morning. I meant to give it to you all later, to each of you. Richard Dennis had sent me, there's a site you can go to online to, as an elected official, to put in concerns that you have for our highways. So you have that site now on your email. And then also, when the governor was here, he asked to get those highway concerns to him and his staff, which I sent that to several members of his staff. Apparently, they sent that over to the DOT, and their response, it was on that second email, is their response to those concerns we have, which we already heard anyway. But so you'll find it interesting reading those. So also on Tuesday this week, I had a sewer district meeting. The two big projects that have come to fruition here in the last year has been the Woods Lagoon treatment plant back at the Woods Resort. It is functioning very, very well to date. And but the other one was the Eco Lab project, and I know Commissioner Gogenow was on the sewer thing before I took over, and we've had issues with Eco Lab and their results with their discharges, and that system is still not tweaked out yet where it's working satisfactory. So we're having some issues with the engineers on this project to get it right, but they need to make it right. There's been a lot of money invested over there to make it right, and we want it to work right. So we're going to keep monitoring that, and hopefully things will get better. At this point, I think the right stuff is there. It's just a question of is it working right, and is it all working together to make the to make the end result what we hoped it would be. So yesterday we had also an ambulance authority meeting. I just want to say that Brandon Truman, I've been real impressed with the meeting yesterday. His grasp of the finances for the ambulance authority is wonderful. His goal and our goal as a board is to do what we can financially, and we're looking at different options he's looked at to get the insurance companies to pay more, which they haven't in the past, so to speak. So that, in the next, hopefully 10 years, we don't have to consider even raising the ambulance fee again. That's our goal. We don't want to do that again. We just did it here, a few years ago?
That's 3 years ago.
Yeah, and we also, 3 years ago, when I first got on the commission, we implemented the fees to the non-residential for the first time, and that is working out well. But we don't want to raise it again in the near future, so working hard to make that, and with the TIF monies helping, with the impact fee money coming that could help, and other things that they're doing within their own system, I think we can make that a reality, so that's our goal. Tomorrow, I have a 3-hour Zoom meeting in the morning with the LGAC committee. I still haven't been officially appointed by the governor yet to represent the West Virginia on this committee, but I guess I will attend the Zoom meeting tomorrow and stay involved until I hear otherwise. So, and then I had one other thing, and I don't know if you guys can help or not, but I'm getting a little heat on this from the CCA that this directory that they put out each year, they look for advertisement in it to pay for it, and it's really a nice directory, and you all have one, obviously. But they sell the ads in there, and it's like $750 a page, and if you have, and you don't have to do a whole page, but if anybody has any thoughts, for us to ask somebody to do it locally, to a thing just goes out across the state to all the commissions. I know it's hard to sell to get some advertising, but if anybody has any thoughts or a way that we could maybe get a few bucks to send to them, the deadline, they've extended it to December 16th, I believe, before this thing has to be wrapped up. So if you know anybody that a business that would want to get involved. So thank you.
Very good, thank you. The only meeting I had was the Inwood Park construction meeting this week, and it was rather brief. Of course, they had Thanksgiving through there and several days of rain, so that kind of has slowed them down a little bit. But they're still working on the fence. There's a major power line, 3-phase line that goes through there that will be decommissioned at some point, and a new line stretched down through True Apple Way and over to the old Mussman plant property. So that those things are actually in the works right now. But also this actually last Saturday, my wife and I attended a prayer vigil at the Pikeside Church, and it's very, very nice. And as everybody is aware, one of our deputy sons was the victim in the cowardly shooting in Washington, D.C. And so we're just trying to lift him and his family up in prayer. And the governor stopped in and gave some very, very warm remarks, and was so appreciative that he took the time to come there and speak. And then last night, we had an emergency services vigil. Everybody that works with Deputy Wolf, a lot of people that, some that couldn't make it, but a great turnout last night from our emergency services community. And I thank them so much for coming and just lifting Jason up and his son Andrew, and thank you all for your support and coming. I know it meant a lot to the sheriff's office and to Jason. So just keep him in our prayers, because he's making some progress. So I believe your prayers are working. So.
We appreciate your involvement in that last night, Eddie, and of course Sheriff Blair, and I thought it was well done, and I know it meant a lot to that family, certainly, and hopefully prayers will be answered for the health of this young man to recover.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have a new application that we received from Dean Kennedy for the Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority. Did you want to bring her in for an interview?
Yes, please.
If you can get that scheduled, Kirsten. And next up is our honorary commissioner, Sierra Clavijo. Good morning.
Good morning, Sierra. Can I get you to come up here and stand in front of the flag here and get you all sworn in and make you official? And then we'll start putting you to work. Stand here and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Sierra Clavijo, how do you say it? Clavijo. Okay. I, Sierra Clavijo, do swear or affirm that I would uphold the Constitution of the United States
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
that I will work hard to fulfill my responsibilities
that I will work hard to fulfill my responsibilities
of the office of Honorary Commissioner,
of the office of Honorary Commissioner,
to which I have been appointed.
to which I have been appointed.
So help me God. You don't have to
So
say
help me
it. Okay, thank you. All right, so we got you all sworn in, and we got a certificate here for you. And
Thank you.
yeah, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe your family, or where you're headed, or what your plans and your goals are?
My family is first generation American. Both my parents were immigrated from Colombia.
Okay.
And
You have brothers and sisters?
yes, sir, I have one little sister.
One little sister? Okay.
And they're very hardworking, so I take a lot of I look up to them a lot. And they push me to be a really good working student, so I try my best to try to make them proud.
Well, that's good. That's good. Any thoughts on what you might want to do in the future, like where you might want to go to school or what you might want to study?
I'm really interested in studying medicine.
Oh, that's very interesting. Does anybody else have any questions for Sierra?
And you go where now?
In Martinsburg, North Middle.
Martinsburg North Middle?
Yes.
Good, good. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for being here today. Appreciate it. All right, well, you have a seat, and if you have anything you want to add to our conversations, feel free to jump right in.
All right. Next up is Will Lawrenson. Good morning, Will.
This morning, we only have 14 estates for final or interim settlement for the month of December 2025. All estates proposed for settlement here this morning are identical to those found in your read ahead. Additionally, these estates proposed for settlement have been legally or actually noticed of their proposed pending settlement status as prescribed by West Virginia law. Furthermore, my office has received no written notice of objection to date from any interested parties of the estates herein. Lastly, all claims of debt publicly filed against each of these estates have either been released as paid in part or in full by the creditors themselves, or the estate has been declared to be insolvent, meaning no probate assets remain to pay heirs, beneficiaries, and creditors alike. Without objection from any interested party in the audience today, I ask for this commission's consideration for the approval of the 14 estates for final or interim settlement in the month of December 2025.
All right. Need a motion to approve the 14 estate accounts as presented.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Will. Thanks, sir.
Fortunately, you're not completely done with me. I'll be back later.
Right. Very good. Okay, I tell you what, we're close enough to open them. Next, we have bid openings. Which Chad will go over with us.
Sir, the first bid opening you have is an RFP for vehicle outfitting. This is for the emergency upfitting of 9 police cruisers. Publication of certification is in the packet. It was distributed through all your media outlets as well as the paper. You have received 1 bid. One and done? You got none?
How long will this if it's approved, be good for it, time-wise, as far as, I mean, we won't.
How long
go
can we
ahead-
purchase off of
we
it?
Go ahead and purchase those immediately, or wait, over time, like.
Do they run from year to year,
As
or?
we hire
Oh.
more people, we get more people hired, then we, the new,
Well, what you're opening right now is for 9 cruisers that have already been received. So,
that have been received.
yes,
Okay. Okay,
So we bid them as we need them.
yes, as needed.
okay.
They're not an open bid that
So
runs.
these are,
Yes,
these are,
correct.
these would be ready to roll, that's what you're saying.
So if a need were to come up within the next 6 to 12 months and pricing hasn't changed, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but we could work off of that open bid.
I say, that's what I was kind of getting at. Would
Yeah.
it be good for X number of months?
But typically with the vendors, you're going to see pricing changes after 12 months. So it's going to need to be rebid anyway.
All right, the first and only bid that you have is Hall Public Safety Upfitters out of Twinsburg, Ohio. And that's in the amount of $142,191.79.
Weren't we outfitting our own vehicles at one point in
Oh,
time?
yeah.
Well, this is for all the equipment to upfit them.
The
We're
light, the
doing,
siren,
we do
the
the
work.
yeah,
So we do the work, this is just for the
Right.
equipment to go on.
which is
The time
The-
we
the-
get that done, man, it's a lot of money goes in each vehicle, for
So
sure.
I said, it's not a bad price for 9 vehicles right now.
now,
Okay,
if you
so-
were to have that done
And
by a
it's
third
all-
party installer, you'd probably pay double that.
Yeah, so we're 17 minutes ahead, so let's go ahead and take a break.
Sure.
And we'll get our county commission picture taken with us. Then we'll come back at 10:15 and do our bid opening on the vehicle. All right? So let's take a Okay, we're back in session and, our next bid opening for, vehicles, fleet vehicles.
Yes, sir, you have a bid opening RFP for fleet vehicles that was issued. You have certification and publication is attached. It was placed in the paper as well as all your customary outlets and the website. Today, we have 6 bids received. This is for 5 vehicles, I believe 2 3/4 ton trucks, 1 half-ton truck, and 2 mid-size SUVs.
Therefore,
So these are, I believe, a mix for the fire department for their command staff that's expanding, as well as I think a new vehicle for facilities.
yeah. Different. Three different prices here.
Yeah, that bid probably should have been separated a little bit.
Yeah, there is. Here's the one for 3/4 ton.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay,
Okay, first bid is from, Whiteside, St. Clairsville, Ohio. And this is for the 2026 Chevy Silverado 2500, which is 3/4 ton, $51,416.
I don't know if that's the same, because that's 3/4, but then this is the half, and then here's the SUV.
This is. Yep, that's just, yeah. That's all the same.
Got a bigger envelope for this one? Need to get some background music for like the Price is Right play.
Jeopardy?
Jeopardy, yeah.
Mhm.
I like the Price is Right, hopefully.
Yeah.
The price is right.
I do not see a price breakdown in here.
See one in here.
It may be in their packet somewhere. We will enter it as received. See if there's anything on the SUVs.
Okay, I think these are the 3 prices here for this one. They're right up here. Okay.
Is that from Whiteside?
No, this
That's
is the
separate.
next, this is bid number 2. Not ready for that yet.
Number 4. Yeah, there's no additional pricing with Whiteside. It may be buried in there somewhere. They can review it when they,
We'll stamp it received and they can review it.
that's right. Sitting there all day messing with that. They don't follow directions.
Is that envelope with this one? I need that number 1 envelope there.
All right. Here's for a 2026 Chevy Silverado 2500. Invoice price is $49,097.40. And that's with Cobble Shearon, Shearon, Commercial Fleet Consultant. Out of Niceville, Tennessee. North Madison, Tennessee. So that was a 3/4 ton truck. The next one is for the 2026 Chevy Blazer, $44,265. And for the half-ton pickup, $44,398.20.
What fleet are these vehicles for?
Mostly for the fire
Mostly for
department.
fire.
Oh, they were red.
They're, with the new recruits coming on, expanding out, preparing for some command staff expansions, which will be in front of you in a few weeks.
Okay, this is from Hagerstown Ford, Hagerstown, Maryland, for the 2026 Ford F-150, $46,943. And for the F-250s, $51,620, that's Hagerstown Ford. And for the Explorer, $45,494.
This one's pretty simple. Ken Parsons.
Next is Kent Parsons Ford for the F-250, $48,393. For the F-150, $45,422. And for the 2026 Ford Explorer, $43,920. Kent Parsons Ford Martinsburg.
It's good, Jimmy.
Three.
Yeah.
This is Mid-State Automotive, Sutton, West Virginia. For the two 3/4 ton trucks, they're $48,730.40 each. For the half-ton Chevy Silverado, $40,920. And for the Chevy Blazer, $35,536.40.
These are from Keystone Ford. And they're real clear on the front page of all three of these, okay?
Keystone Ford out of Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. 2026 F-250, $49,147. For the 2026 F-150, $45,348. And for the Ford Police Interceptors, $43,599. Want to do them?
That's it.
Thank you.
I don't know where these, I have to find out where they.
Yeah, you and your team will check all the bids, make sure they got everything they need.
Yes, sir. You'll have a recommendation promptly.
Very good. All right, next up, Jen Swisher, Director of Emergency Communications. Come on, Jen.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me here this morning. This morning I'm before you for MOU between the Emergency Communications Center and the 167th Air Wing. Essentially, the 167th a few months ago did away with their dispatch center where all the calls would come into their center. There was a 911 emergency on base. They have done away with that, and now the calls will come into the 911 center directly. Basically, the MOU discusses that, as well as when we dispatch an incident at the base, we are to call their command center after the dispatch to let them know that we are sending apparatuses on base.
So will you all also be receiving the automatic fire alarms out of the hangars and the other facilities out there?
Yeah.
You will be
So-
receiving those as well? Okay.
So it'll come directly to us. They're not able to staff that control center all the time, and it does make it easier. We're able to ask the questions. And I would say it's been about 2 weeks ago, we had a call on base, but it was from a cellular phone. So we were getting those anyways. So if they call from a cellular device.
And you guys don't have any issues? Everything's okay?
Everything's
all that?
fine, yes.
Very good. Do I have any questions for Jen?
Do they have their own fire department, right?
They do, yes, sir.
So basically, if they call you guys with fire, you dispatch it to their fire department on base?
We would dispatch their fire department, likely along with other fire departments to the base, yes.
Okay.
They do not have EMS on base.
Okay, need a motion to approve and give the president the authority to sign the agreement.
So moved, Mr. President.
A second?
Been properly moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you very much.
All right, Risha's not here. Will,
Break.
break time. We'll take a short break. All right, we're back in. Next up, Resource Senior Executive Director, Farmland Protection Board. Good morning. How you doing?
How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So the Farmland Protection Board is closing in on the process of 2 easements that we selected from fiscal year 2025. We will have a third property I'll be back about at some point, but that one's a joint project with Jefferson County and NRCS. So with the federal money involved, it's going to take a while. The 2 properties I'm here about today total about 185 acres and will bring our total to 9,287 acres forever protected. And with that, I would like to ask the Commission's approval to complete the process to acquire the easements on these 2 properties.
Very good. Do I have any questions for Risa?
No, I serve on that board, obviously, and they've been working on this for a while, and I'll be glad to make the motion that we allow them to bring these 2 properties into the programs.
Where are they located?
One is in Inwood, off of Hatchery Road, and the other is off of Ardenalville, part of the Orr's Orchard.
Very good.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Anybody have any further questions? All right, it's been properly moved in second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good deal.
And Reese is doing a really good job with this program, and we thank you for your efforts and the work you're doing, Risa. You're doing a great job for us. Thank you.
Are you enjoying it? Yeah, good. I know when you come forward, you got to smile, so that means a lot.
Well, she smiles even when she's having a bad day, so.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Will, do you expect anybody coming in?
I do not, Commissioners. I did in my hearing notices indicate that the hearing, I kind of played a trick on them saying that it was going to start at 10:30, so that if we started a little earlier, we would be within our grounds to do so. So if you guys are ready, I can certainly.
Yeah, we are, as long as everybody else is okay.
I think so. For the estate of Catherine Rebecca Burt, as this commission will recall, this hearing is a follow-up to a previous matter that this commission assigned to a fiduciary commissioner back in October. To refresh your minds on the facts and update you as to the current state of things, Catherine Rebecca Burt passed away on June 25th, 2025, a resident of Berkeley County. On August 15th, 2025, Linda Griffith, the decedent's sister, filed a petition to admit to probate the purported original holographic, meaning fully handwritten and unwitnessed will dated May 16th, 2025. On August 18th, Christopher Burt, son of the decedent, verbally objected to the will's acceptance, claiming that the will was not in the handwriting of the decedent. In West Virginia, a handwritten will without witnesses must be wholly written in the decedent's handwriting for it to be considered legally valid on its face. Typically, my office collects affidavits from 2 non-taking individuals who can attest to the decedent's handwriting after they have passed away. Absent their attestation, the proponent can petition this commission to take the will, notwithstanding the lack of proof the decedent actually wrote the will, which was the case in this matter, and a hearing was set. On October 2nd, 2025, this commission will recall having such a hearing to determine whether or not to accept the will without any proof the will was actually written by the decedent into probate. That hearing led to the stringent objection by Chris Burt, who stated, among other things, that the will, he was familiar with the decedent's handwriting, and the will did not look to him to be written by the decedent. Alternatively, David Burt, another child of the decedent, stated that the will was in his mother's handwriting, later clarifying that, quote, at least the signature, unquote, was in his mother's handwriting. Without additional evidence, this commission decided that more facts were required, and so you assigned a fiduciary commissioner, a private attorney appointed by this body to fulfill a specific function, specifically to take additional evidence and to recommend appropriate action to this commission regarding the will at issue. On October 9th, my office wrote a letter to all interested parties indicating that Fiduciary Commissioner Michael Bush, who is in the audience this morning, was assigned to the case in accordance with this commission's order. On October 21st, Christopher Burt, the objecting party to the will, indicated via telephone both to my office and to Mr. Bush that he no longer wished to pursue his objection and wanted to proceed with the will as presented. Both Mr. Bush and I indicated to Chris Burt that he would need to formally waive his objection, and such a waiver would need to be prepared by Mr. Bush. 3 days later, on October 24th, Mr. Bush sent notices to all interested parties that an evidentiary hearing would take place at my office on November 20th, if such a hearing would even be necessary, since Chris Burt verbally rescinded his objection. On October 30th, Mr. Bush received an email from Chris Burt stating again that he wished to withdraw his objection and proceed with the will in hand for probate. On November 12th, Mr. Bush sent formal waivers to all interested parties, which indicated their willingness to move forward with the decedent's holographic will as presented to my office. 2 days later, on November 14th, Chris Burt contacted Mr. Bush via telephone, indicating that he wished to rescind his withdrawal and renew his objection to the will being admitted into probate. On November 20th, Mr. Bush held the evidentiary hearing in the fiduciary office's conference room. Both Chris Burt and David Burt were in attendance and offered evidence to Mr. Bush, claiming to support their respective positions. On November 21st, Mr. Bush presented the attached report of the fiduciary commissioner to this body, for your approval. In it, Mr. Bush recommends first that the will more likely than not fails to meet the formal requirements of West Virginia Code Chapter 41, making the will invalid on its face, and second, that the proponents of the will failed to meet their burden of proving the will was actually written entirely in the hand of the decedent. With that, I can invite Mr. Bush, if he wishes, to come up and clarify things if you have any questions. If not, I can proceed. Okay.
I don't have anything for Mike.
I don't.
All right. With that, I ask for this commission's consideration in adopting Mr. Bush's report and recommendation, specifically that the purported original holographic will of Catherine Rebecca Burt, dated May 16, 2025, be lodged with the county clerk's office as invalid on its face, thus not accepted into probate.
Okay. You've heard Will. You have any questions for Will?
So where does this leave it?
Essentially, the will would be lodged with the county clerk's office, and the family would be left to proceed intestate, meaning as if the will never existed.
And that just kind of divides things between each one.
Correct. There's a code section in Chapter 42 called Descent and Distribution, which highlights who gets what in the manner. It's also intestate succession.
So the sister would get a share then?
No. So
So it'd
under
just be the 3 sons.
That's correct. Under the law, under intestate succession, the decedent's biological or adopted children would take.
Be the only.
That's correct.
And also one more thing, the checks. 2 gentlemen got checks. What are those for?
The checks were meant, I believe, one was submitted by Chris Burt on that October 2nd day as a means to attempt to prove the handwriting of the decedent was not that of what was on the actual will. The other submitted by David Burt was a means to try and prove just the opposite, right? That was just a means of evidence.
Okay. Any further questions?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, please.
Has there been any conversation with this sister?
Well, her letter said it was too much for her health.
Commissioners, good morning. Thank you. Question 1, question 2. To the first question, I included the checks in my report to support the testimony elicited during the hearing that in fact the sister had signed on behalf of the decedent on those checks. So I won't read anything more into that. But for my purposes, it showed the propensity that the person presenting this handwritten will had signed on behalf of the decedent on other occasions, allegedly. As to the conversations with the sister, yes, I have sent written correspondence to her as included in my report and have received written emails back from her as well. And yes, she essentially said the boys can figure it out. Anything further?
Sounds
I
good.
don't have anything.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Need a motion?
Mr. President, I move that we take the recommendation of the fiduciary and Mr. Bush and move forward.
and that the will as presented was invalid by law.
Yes.
I
As
second
stated.
that motion.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Let's have it.
I actually do have an order for you to sign, Joe.
Very good, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Will.
Thank you all.
Yes, sir.
That's all I have.
Thank
Thank
you, Will.
Okay, that's gonna end our business for the day. Let the record show there is nobody here from the public. Need a motion to recess.
Mr. President, I move that we recess.
We are in recess.